My name is Scott Anderson, and I'm a bereavement coordinator with Lumicare Hospice. First, I want to welcome everybody, and I want to thank you for attending today, our semi-annual service of memory and celebration. The service is for anyone who has lost a loved one, and it is also for our Lumicare staff. I want to thank the members of the planning committee whose names are on the back of the program, and I want to thank those who also participated in the service, and also those who volunteered to make this service happen in other ways. A lot of people helped to make this happen today, so thank you, everybody. We are here today as a community to remember and honor those who have passed. We are here today as a community to share in our collective grief. And we are here today as a community to share our tears and to share our smiles. I once read that grief is love with no place to go. When we love, it is not in an orderly fashion. Each person we love differently. And when they're gone, no one else can take their place. We might remarry or have another child or make new friends, but these are all new people to love, and they're not nor shouldn't be meant to replace the person who is gone. And so our love has no place to go, and we experience grief. So today I ask this of you, that while you are here for the service of memory and celebration, you remain open to your grief, that you let yourself feel it, knowing you are not alone, that here and today and now, you are safe. At one point in today's service, there is some time set aside to share memories of our loved ones. If you are so moved to share, please stand or raise your hand and I was going to say we'll bring you a microphone, but we don't have one and it's small enough where I don't think we'll need one. Let us begin. I'd like to introduce Leah Blackwood. She's our Director of Clinical Services. Do I have that right?
Yes.
And she's going to talk a little bit about it.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So Lumicare Hospice is hosting this event, and we are appreciative for them allowing us to have it here at the Heartlight Center. And if you are here honoring your loved one, we appreciate that you are coming and that you allowed us to care for them, whether it was for a couple of days or months or even years. Some people stay on hospice service for quite some time. Lumicare's kind of vision is to make sure that we are serving people in the community at end of life and making sure that we do that in an approach that meets all of their needs, whether it's physically, spiritually, emotionally, in all of those ways, so that they have the services and the care that they need at end of life. What you will see when you see Lumicare is that we have a hummingbird that is kind of our motto, our stamp. And the reason that the company chose the hummingbird is because a lot of people don't know, but when the hummingbird flies, their wings make an infinity pattern. And the infinity pattern kind of represents the continuum of life and death, and it represents eternity, and that we go on, and that for a lot of people, we believe that death is not the end of life. And so if that is your belief, we hope that that brings you comfort. If you've lost a loved one, if you believe that you may see them again, we hope that that brings you comfort. But whatever your beliefs are, we just believe that death is a time that we all are going to spend and share with someone that we care for, and even for ourselves. And we are really, really happy that we get to be a part of people's experiences as they journey to the end of life and be a part of their family's experiences. We know that it is very difficult, but we also see that there can be a lot of beauty and a lot of healing and a lot of wonderful experiences as we all journey to the end of life. So we thank you for coming today, and we hope that we have some nice times here remembering and honoring your loved ones. Thank you.
my name's Liz. I'm one of the social workers, and I'm going to read a poem by Mary Elizabeth Fry called "Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep." Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die.
Thanks, Liz. One of the things I've asked some of our staff to do is to share a little reflection on why hospice? Why am I here? Why am I working for hospice? Or what does it do for me, I guess I would say, even though that sounds a little selfish, but there's a reason we're here. So first we'll have Nicole Casas, our operations manager.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Nicole. I'm the operations manager here with Lumicare. My role at Lumicare is a little bit different. I'm in the business office, so I'm here to support all of the staff and really to give them whatever they need to provide the best care for your families. I do a lot of the onboarding process and I get the new hire started. And recently we had a new hire that said, hospice is the hardest job she's ever loved. Those words, they really resonate with me because I feel like every day my heart gets so full, doing this job at Lumicare. I've cried tears of sadness, tears of joy, tears of grief, but more often it's just tears because I'm so full of love and my heart is so full. I'm blessed with the opportunity to play a role in any end of life journey, but Lumicare gives me the opportunity to do that every day, and I get to be part of so many different journeys. With Lumicare, I'm reminded often that sometimes just love, positivity, support are sometimes all the medicine you need. It's not always a medication. So today we get the opportunity to celebrate the lives of all the loved ones that we've lost, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of your guys' journey.
I'm Sarah. I'm one of the social workers with Lumicare. I've been doing hospice for over 6 years, and Lumicare is my second hospice. I've been with a favorite out of the two. But my hospice why? I've always been a caretaker since I was young. I was also the only kid in my large extended Italian Catholic family that preferred to sit with the adults after dinner while they drank coffee and ate biscotti, gossiping about people I didn't know. My favorite person in the world was my great aunt Rita, who died of COVID 2 years ago at 95. I'd spend hours visiting with her, listening to her tell stories about my mom and her siblings when they were little. Being allowed in during one of the most intimate parts of a person's and family's life is an honor I do not take lightly. I first got into hospice as a grad school intern in 2015 in an inpatient facility. By the end of my 600 hours, I wasn't so sure if I was cut out for hospice work. I thought I was too soft. But I've since realized softness is absolutely necessary in this work. We witness people in their most vulnerable state, and sometimes the only thing I have to offer is a hug and gentle reassurance. Grief comes in all forms, and sometimes that means we bear the brunt of being the reason for someone dying. Being soft has allowed me to see the grief instead of the anger when my patients or their family members are hurting. In hospice, we've accepted there's no more fixing. We embrace that death is inevitable, but that doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. Walking with people through the end of their lives is the biggest privilege of mine. And to do it alongside our incredible nurses and CNAs and social workers and spiritual care coordinators makes this work even more rewarding.
My name's Liz again, and I'm another social worker. That was eloquently said, both of you. So my passion for supporting those in end of life began in veterinary medicine. Before I became a social worker, I was a credentialed veterinary nurse for 17 years. And all too often, I saw veterinarians diagnose a companion animal with a terminal illness, and pet parents were simply told, "Come back when you're ready for your pet to cross the rainbow bridge." The time in between, this vulnerable time, was left unsupported and neglected. And for me, this wasn't enough. Hospice is not a job, it's a calling. I have a lot of whys. A couple of those are, I don't want people to feel alone during a time that our culture often pushes people aside or rushes people through grief. I want to be your fellow companion as you navigate the windy trails that is the wilderness of grief. I also don't see the people I support as patients, but as my teachers. Every single person that I have met has taught me something and made me a better social worker. Lastly, I honor my own brother's memory when I walk alongside those in grief. These are just a few of my whys.
Good morning. My name is Julie, and I'm the CNA coordinator at Lumicare Hospice. I like to write down a lot of things, and I usually don't read any of them, but I found hospice through grief. So hospice kind of found me. I was out doing different things, social work and different jobs, and I ended up in the pool, going to different companies and nursing homes and things. And I ended up at a hospice and dealing with my own grief from the loss of my grandmother. I sat bedside with people that needed me there, that needed to talk to me, that needed dignity in their end times. And it filled my heart so much that I had to find a way to be in hospice. I had to find a way to make this the way I live my days every day, making somebody else feel that much better. So hospice found me, and I'm so grateful 14 years later. This is where I am, and hospice is my home. I'm going to read a quote, so I'll actually read what I wrote. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. I knew when I found it, and my role has changed. I'm not a CNA, I am a CNA, but I'm not out in the field anymore. But I get to support the CNAs that are out there and servant leadership, make sure that they have all the tools to be out there and love their families and take care of them to the best of their ability to give dignity to everyone in the end of life. So that's my goal in life, and I thank you so much for allowing us to be here and say what's important to us and why. Thank you.
I did not prepare. I'm going to be just very authentic because that's who I am. My name is Trisha, and I'm an RN case leader in the East Side. I'm new to hospice. I started my journey with hospice in June, and it has been such a blessing for me to be with this company and to be able to support families in the most difficult time, to be at the bedside and to not just care for a patient as a nurse, but also to care for a patient, their family, their loved ones, and really just be there. As a nurse, it's not just about medications. It's not just about being there and sitting there. It's about holding hands. It's about crying together, hugging together, and just helping someone process such a difficult time is truly a gift and a blessing that I am so grateful to be a part of. Thank you.
This is a song called Sometimes by Jonathan Edwards. Sometimes in the morning I catch a falling dream, disappearing sea, and I think about someone that I will never see again. And now it's only me again. Sometimes in the morning I think I hear a phrase echo through the haze, and it's just beyond my vision. Something that she said one night before we went to bed one night. Sometimes in the morning will I go back to sleep, trying hard to keep my memories in motion. I'm wishing she were near, my love. She's whispering in my love.
So the first name that I would like to recognize is Roberta Desrosiers.
DeRoger.
DeRosier. Thank you.
No problem.
We could just have a moment of silence. Next name is Karen Quillen. Let's take a moment. And lastly is Penny Burke. Take a moment of silence. Thank you.
This is where we like to take a moment where you're welcome to share any thoughts of your loved one or any thoughts at all. The last time we did this was people kind of took a bit to warm up, but feel free to share any thoughts about your loved one or a favorite memory, anything like that. So is there anybody that would like to? You're excited, Bobby. Liz, you can come up here or stand where you are.
I'll get the party started. So again, everyone that I've, come across have been teachers for me. One in particular, we called him Mud, So when we first met him, he had the blankets covered over his face, and I was with my chaplain. It was the first time we were meeting him, and he tells us, "Go away." But eventually he started to warm up, and we developed a really good rapport, I would say, a really close relationship, to the point where he would feel safe enough to cry with me. And this man had been through so many traumas and so many things that weren't fair for life to throw at him. And I also may have crossed a few boundaries, maybe buying him a television. He didn't have one. From the thrift store, right? It was $30. And when I brought it to him, I was so excited. I was like, "Look what I got for you." And he said, "Damn, who'd you steal that from?" So he's someone that definitely has a close part in my heart, and has made just, he taught me just the importance of, in social work, just being open and non-judgmental and just being there for him. And, he didn't trust easily. And I gained his trust pretty quickly, and we had a lot of great conversations. So I hope to hear some more memories from the rest of you.
To piggyback off of that, Mud transferred to my territory, so Liz had to give him up to me. But we had to make sure she came so that he would understand that, I was okay and it was okay to switch out, but he only we called him Bob. He told us to call him Bob. He only let Liz call him Mud. Yeah, he was definitely special.
Yeah, I even drove all the way down to Parker to still see him in his last days. Mm-hmm.
So, me personally, thankfully, I haven't had any close family pass away throughout my whole life, really. I've been blessed to have a lot of them still here. But one significant event that's happened recently is we lost one of our nurses, Dawn. And that was probably one of the hardest things in hospice that I've encountered so far. Because I onboarded Dawn, I got to do all of her orientation, and we connected on the first day because she was a crazy cat lady. And I'm also a crazy cat lady, so we automatically connected immediately because of her cat. But Dawn was just somebody that was always so pleasant and did her best, like her 100% every single day. Even when she was sick, she didn't tell everybody. She carried on and kept going and kept doing what she loved to do. And when we lost her, I had never experienced losing somebody like that. And so, especially in that sort of relationship, you know, it was a little different. But that was when grief really kind of struck. And it's ironic that today we're doing this celebration because when Dawn passed away, we bought little cat stickers for people to put on their badges and stuff. And I've kept those stickers and Dawn's badge in my office. And I finally took them out yesterday, and one had fallen. There was 2 packs. One fell out of my car, and I found it this morning outside of my car. And I was just smiling when I picked it up because I'm like, she knows. She knows it's today, you know. And so I'm here today really to remember Dawn and to celebrate Dawn's life because she's been my most significant, you know, person that's passed away really that I've ever had to encounter so far. So that's mine.
Thank you very, very much.
Anybody else like to share?
Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the nurses. And I'm going to do a reading. It's a responsive reading. So you guys are going to also participate. It's called We Remember Them. So I'll read a sentence and then it'll be followed by We Remember Them, where you can all join it. At the rising sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies, and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. For as long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
I'm going to read the dragonfly story. Down below the surface of a quiet pond lived a little colony of water bugs. They were a happy colony, living far away from the sun. For many months they were very busy, scurrying over the soft mud at the bottom of the pond. They did notice that every once in a while, one of their colonies seemed to lose interest in going about. Clinging to the stem of a pond lily, it gradually moved out of sight and was seen no more. "Look," said one of the water bugs to another. "One of our colony is climbing up the lily stalk. Where do you think she's going?" Up, 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 it slowly went. Even as they watched, the water bug disappeared from sight. Its friends waited and waited, but it didn't return. "That's funny," said one water bug to another. "Wasn't she happy here?" asked a second. "Where do you suppose she went?" wondered a third. No one had an answer. They were greatly puzzled. Finally, one of the water bugs, a leader in the colony, gathered its friends together. "I have an idea. The next one of us who climbs up the lily stalk must promise to come back and tell us where he or she went and why." "We promise," they said solemnly. One spring day, not long after, the very water bug who had suggested the plan found himself climbing up the lily stalk. Up, up he went. Before he knew what was happening, he had broke through the surface of the water and fallen onto the broad green lily pad above. When he awoke, he looked about with surprise. He couldn't believe what he saw. A startling change had come to his old body. His movement revealed 4 silver wings and a long tail. Even as he struggled, he felt an impulse to move his wings. The warmth of the sun soon dried the moisture from his new body. He moved his wings again and suddenly found himself up above the water. He had become a dragonfly. Swooping and dipping in great curves, he flew through the air. He felt exhilarated in a new atmosphere. By and by, the new dragonfly flitted happily on a lily pad to rest. It was then he chanced to look below to the bottom of the pond. Why, he was right above his old friends, the water bugs. There they were, scurrying around just as he'd been doing some time before. The dragonfly remembered the promise. "The next one of us who climbs up the lily stalk will come back and tell where he or she went and why." Without thinking, the dragonfly darted down. Suddenly, he hit the surface of the water and bounced away. Now that he was a dragonfly, he could no longer go into the water. "I can't return," he said in dismay. "At least I tried, but I can't keep my promise. Even if I could go back now, not one of the water bugs would know me and my new body. I guess I'll just have to wait until they become dragonflies too. Then they'll understand what has happened to me and where I went." I would just like to clarify that Sarah and I do have on the same outfit. We're not seeing double.
Yeah. Sure.
Great minds think alike.
That's right.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Well, this concludes our service for today. I hope you're able to find some comfort during today's service. The service is over, but the grief is always with us, as you well know. We do have some food available in the back and some beverages here, coffee and water, so feel free to partake and come up and sit at the table and eat and share. If you're also so moved, please feel free to visit Jamie, who's sitting right there. She's our volunteer coordinator. She'd love to have a conversation with you. And before you get up, Liz and Bobby are going to pass out to families some hummingbird pins. And also for everybody, they're going to pass out some packets of wildflower seeds so that you can plant and have a memory of your loved one that way if you so choose. So they'll pass those out right now. The hummingbird is a symbol of hope, for there is always hope. And sometimes we need to be reminded of that. Thank you again for coming today. I hope you have a good rest of the weekend.
Good luck with yours.